Cassidy, you're late again. How many times do I have to tell you that this is unacceptable, huh? You have no idea how to live a meaningful life. All you do is slave away at your work, neglecting everything else that matters. You need to get your act together. Do you hear me?
Mom, please, not this again. We've been over this 1,000 times. I explained to you that my work is very demanding right now, and that sometimes I have to stay longer than usual. And you know what? I don't mind it at all. Because I love my job, and it gives me a sense of purpose. So I don't need you to lecture me about how I should live my life.
You love your job? It gives you a sense of purpose. Are you kidding me? That's the most pathetic thing I've heard, Cassidy. Why don't you try to have some fun for once, huh? Go out and make some friends. Socialize. Enjoy yourself.
I don't think it's pathetic at all. I think it's admirable. I enjoy what I do, and I do it well. That's more than I can say for most people. And for your information, I do have friends, and a boyfriend too. My priority is my work, because it's important and rewarding, and I would appreciate it if you would respect that and stop making me feel guilty about it.
You want to prioritize your work right now. Are you insane? What's the point of that? Listen to me, Cassidy. You're a woman, and that means you have a different role in life. Your role is to take care of the home and have children. That's what will make you happy. Why don't you focus on that instead, huh? I'm sure you'll be much more satisfied than you are now.
Well, Mom, I'm sorry to disappoint you, but I don't agree with you at all. I think we're living in different eras. Things have changed, and women can do whatever they want. They can work, they can have children, or they can do both. The important thing is that they have the freedom to choose for themselves.
You think women have the freedom to choose their own destiny? And you think that's what will make them happy? You're deluding yourself, Cassidy. You're lying to yourself and to me. It's absurd. Don't you envy your little sister? She's been married for years and has a wonderful family. Don't you want that for yourself? Huh? Don't you want to settle down and have kids? It's the best thing that can happen to a woman. It's what everyone is doing these days. It's very fashionable for young people like your sister.
Mom, I'm glad that Megan is happy with her life. She's my sister and I love her, but I don't have to copy her. I want to find my own path in this world.
Your own path? Who talks like that? You're out of your mind, Cassidy. I don't know where I went wrong with you. Your sister is a success. And you? You're a failure.
You know what, Mom? I don't need your approval to be happy, okay?
And what does that mean? You don't care what I think at all?
That's not what I said, but I don't think you're willing to listen to me. Well, you can't control mine, so stop telling me how to live my life.
You think you're so smart for doing this? That you're some kind of rebel? You're not smart at all. The only cool one here is your little sister. Hey, Megan. How are you holding up? Are you feeling okay? I've been thinking about you nonstop. I was just dying to know how that precious miracle inside you is doing. Has it started kicking? You must be over the moon about this, right?
Hi, Mom. I'm doing fine and feeling great too. Thank you. And yes, I actually just felt it kick the other day. It was incredible.
Oh, really? You did? Well, that's just amazing. I can't believe this is all happening so soon. You're going to be a mother before you know it. Can you imagine that? By the way, I was just wondering when you were going to come back home to have your baby. Have you booked your flight yet?
Sorry, what do you mean by that? I'm a bit lost.
What do you mean, what do I mean? I mean, when are you going to come home to my house and have your baby?
Oh, right. Well, the thing is that I was actually planning to go to my husband's parents' house instead to do it.
Oh, really? But why on earth would you want to do that? I mean, I'm your mother. You should be doing it at my house with me.
I know, and I really wish I could, but it's just that you live so far away and getting there would be a nightmare, I think. I just don't want to risk anything that could harm the baby or myself, you know?
Oh, don't you fret about that. I can just pick you up and drive you back to my place. You won't have to worry about a thing while you're here with me.
Mom, I really am sorry, but even then, that's 3 hours sitting in the car. I just don't know if I can handle that.
Don't worry about that either. We can just make little stops along the way. It'll be like a little adventure for you and the little one.
Mom, I appreciate that you really want this to happen, but I'm pretty far along in my pregnancy, and I get sick really, really easily. I know that you mean well, but I think that I'd rather just stay here to have the baby, if that's okay with you.
Megan, you can't be serious about this. Did I do something to make you despise me or something? How could you be so cruel to your own mother?
You know that it's not anything like that at all. It really is just a matter of practicality. Alex's family lives around here, and it would be much simpler for me to go to them. Besides, they've offered to help with anything I might need as well. I'll be in good hands, so you have nothing to fret about at all.
Well, okay. If you're really going to do it there, then maybe I can come over and be with you until you have your baby.
But, Mom, don't you work? I know that it's just a part-time job, but I really don't want you to quit just for this.
Oh, don't you worry about that. I quit my job a long time ago, actually.
Wait, what? You did? I didn't know that.
But of course I quit my job. To get ready to take care of you full time while you were having your baby.
Mom, you didn't really go and do something like that, did you? That's way too much.
Megan, you are my daughter, and I would do anything for you in this crucial time of your life. I don't care about the job. I only care about you. Do you get that?
Mom, please. I know that you want to be there, and I'm grateful for that. I really, really am. But at the end of the day, these kind of decisions are going to be between Alex and me.
But that's not fair. You don't live here anymore. So how am I supposed to have any say in what you've decided among yourselves? I sacrificed everything for you. And now you're telling me that it was all for nothing? I quit my job just to be there for you when you would need me the most. I wanted to be with you when you have your baby. And I wanted to hold my grandchild in my arms for the first time. Is that so terrible?
Of course not. It's not terrible at all. I just wish that you would have talked to us a bit more before you did all this. But I promise that as soon as I have the baby, you are going to be the first person that I send pictures to.
I don't want a picture of the baby. I want to see the real thing in person. I brought you into this world, and I want to be there when you bring another life into it. Don't forget that it's not just your child. It's my grandchild, too. I have a stake in this, you know?
Okay, Mom. I think we need to take a deep breath.
Oh, I am very calm, despite your efforts. Let's be clear. I am your mother, and you are going to come back to my house to have your baby. And that is final. If you dare to defy me, then that just makes you an ungrateful and disobedient little brat. Do you hear me? Do as I say.
Hey, Cassidy, are you there? I really need to talk to you about Mom. I think she's been acting really crazy lately, and I just really need someone to vent to about this right now.
Oh, Megan, it's good to hear from you. What has Mom been doing that's got you so worked up, though?
Well, she keeps demanding. No, not demanding. Ordering me to go to her house to have my baby. And when I told her I had other plans, she went ballistic on me.
Yeah, I guess that she really wants it to happen. And I just don't think I've ever gotten such furious texts from her before. Wow, that sounds like a lot to handle when you're already going through so much. Where are you right now? Maybe we can meet up and talk about this face to face if you have the time.
I'm actually at Alex's parents' house right now. I told Alex everything that happened, and he brought me to their house for the time being. Both of his parents have been so kind and supportive and said that they would do whatever they could to make sure that I had this baby safely.
Well, that's a relief. I'm really glad to hear that you're in a safe place with so many loving people around you. And more than anything, I'm glad you're in a place where you can be safe from Mom. Speaking of, have you heard from her since you last talked? Did she say she was going to do anything?
No, she hasn't told me anything. And I have no clue what she might do about all this. I tried calling her after she texted me because I thought that maybe there was just some misunderstanding or something. I tried it a few times actually, but she never answered her phone.
I see. I wonder what that woman is up to.
Well, that's actually one of the reasons why I'm messaging you right now. I was wondering if you'd seen her do anything weird or out of the ordinary?
I'm really sorry, Megan, but I haven't really seen much of her lately. We've entered into the busy season at my work, so I've been coming home late every night and haven't even had a chance to check up on her. Even now, I'm still on the metro on my way home.
Oh, right. Well, that makes sense. Nothing that can really be done about that, I suppose. I'm just really scared about what Mom might be up to. I really don't think I've ever seen her this angry with me. And I'm really nervous.
I know that Mom can be intimidating at times, believe me. But I think you have to remember that she's probably just concerned about you. You know how much Mom loves you. I think she just wants to be there for you.
I know that, but you don't know how hard that kind of pressure can be sometimes. She is always trying to be a part of my life and is always trying to influence my decisions. Part of the whole reason why I wanted to get married and move out was because I wanted to get away from that. Why do you think I ended up moving so far away from home?
Oh, I see. I guess I never really thought about it in that way. I'm sorry that you've had these feelings this whole time, and I've never noticed.
I know that to you, it must just seem like Mom is really concerned about me and is doing all this because she cares about me. But what that means for me is that Mom is going to try and take over my life again. And if I don't do as she says, then she'll get really mad at me.
Oh, Megan, thank you so much for talking to me about this. I really do wish I could give you a big hug right now, but I think what matters most is that you don't stress yourself, given that you're pregnant. And maybe you can relax a little knowing that it sounds like you're surrounded by people who really love you and who just want you to do this safely. You have much more important things to worry about than whatever it is that Mom might be doing.
Right now, that's a good point. I'll try to relax and remember that I'm a safe space right now. But that actually reminds me. What about you, Cassidy? Are you okay with how things are going over there? Mom told me that she quit her job because she expected that I was going to be going back home to have my kid. I was just worrying about the two of you, since you live together and all. I mean, are you two going to be okay financially, since you're the only one working now? I would hate for you to suffer because of something that Mom decided to do for my sake.
Oh, right. Mom actually quit her job a long time ago or something like that. She was always clashing with her boss, and one day everything just exploded and she walked out of there. She hasn't had a job ever since then. All she does is lounge around at home, really?
Wow, I had no clue that happened. How do you cope with that woman?
I mean, that's part of the reason why I haven't moved out of the house myself. I just worry about what kind of a mess that Mom might get into if she's left to her own devices. So I'm partly here to keep an eye on her when I can.
Right. I remember how the neighbors used to gossip about our family, especially when Dad was still home, and him and Mom would yell at each other in the house. I remember neighbors approaching me in the streets and asking if I was okay, or there was this one time that Mom kept trying to set me up with that boy who lives a few blocks away. And then, When she finally brought him over, Dad got into a huge fight with him.
Yeah, I really tried not to dwell on that time at all, if I'm being honest.
There were so many things that happened. It's hard for me to recall them at times.
I know if there was only something we could do about Mom, though. I mean, my boyfriend and I have been talking about getting married for a long time, but I just don't know how it's going to work out with all of this.
Cassidy, I didn't know that you were putting your life on hold just to deal with Mom.
No, my problems really don't matter right now. We need to focus on you, Megan.
You can vent, though. I know that as my older sister, you are always putting on a strong face so that I wouldn't get scared when our parents fought. But I know that you've been through a lot too. You know, maybe if we can think of what to do, we could go and talk to our uncle about how to handle Mom.
You really think that's a good idea, Megan?
Well, he did tell us that we could call him if we ever needed anything or were in trouble, remember? Of course, that was 5 years ago when Mom and Dad split up, but I'm sure he would still be there for us.
Our Uncle David. I never thought to try asking him for any help with this.
Yeah, I understand why we both know that him and Mom don't really talk much these days. But still, it might be worth it. I mean, who better than her brother is going to know how Mom thinks and what she might be planning?
Oh, trust me. I tell him that quite often myself. But I think you're onto something about Uncle David. I'll reach out to him and see what he says.
Cassidy, do you understand that you're preventing your sister from coming to the house to have her baby?
Sorry, what? I'm not really following you right now, Mom.
Don't act dumb with me, young lady. I know there's no way that girl is just rejecting what I tell her on her own. Unlike you, she's a good girl.
So then just what are you trying to imply right now?
I mean that you must be behind this. Your little sister always obeys me. And yet, when I ask her to come home and have her baby here, she says no. I thought she was going to be the daughter that I grew old with, not you. But now she lives a whole 3-hour drive away and barely visits ever. It's obvious that you must be envious that your sister is so much better than you, and you're doing something to keep her away. Well, I'm not going to tolerate that. You can't keep your sister from having her baby here. So if you're not going to be giving me any grandchildren, then you can at least make room for the child that will.
Now, wait a second. Where is all this coming from? Do you have any evidence at all of what you're saying?
Oh, please. You still aren't even married. You have no boyfriend. You're still obsessed with your career. No matter what you think about it, you are not going to be giving me any grandchildren anytime soon. All you do is care about yourself and your career. You don't care at all what I think, even though I'm your mother.
Well, you make it sound as if you think I physically can't have kids on my own. And that isn't true. And I've already told you over and over again that I do have a boyfriend. But more than that, I don't appreciate at all how you're trying to blame Megan not wanting to come home and have her baby here on me. If you must know, that is something that Megan decided for herself.
What are you talking about? That girl has never made a decision that doesn't seek approval from me first. I know you must be lying about that.
I figured you would say something like that, Mom, but I think that you really have no clue what you're talking about at all. For example, did you know that the head obstetrician at the nearest hospital where Megan could give birth is her sister-in-law?
What do you mean?
I mean that Alex's older sister works at the hospital and is going to be the one that delivers Megan's baby. Megan just feels more comfortable and like she would have access to more people who care about her and can help guide her through this part of her life. That's the reason why she isn't coming home to have her baby.
But then, I still don't get it. Why doesn't she want me to go out there and be with her as well?
Well, it was because she didn't want you to quit your job just to be with her when she's already had so much support. She had no idea that you had already quit.
But now that she knows, Surely it's fine if I go over and be there for her, right? I can stay at Alex's parents' place and help out when the time comes, right?
But you don't even know where they live, right?
Well, surely you can tell me where they live, and then I'll go over there, right?
I'm sorry, Mom, but I'm not going to tell you what their address is. It's really not my place to give that information out. And if you don't have it yet, you might not be supposed to have it. I don't really want to put myself in Alex's family's bad books.
You what? You can't be serious. How dare you do this to me?
Mom, I think you need to realize that your presence can be a bit of a stress factor for Megan, and I don't think she wants you there anyway. This conversation is just going nowhere, so I'm going to go now. But please just think about what I've said, okay?
Oh my gosh, Cassidy. I have something like 200 missed notifications from Mom.
I just told her that she needed to stop stressing you out. What is she doing?
I was so anxious watching my phone buzzing all night. I tried putting it on silent, but it kept flashing all the time. I finally had to block Mom's number.
Well, you only have a few weeks before the baby arrives, right? Just hang in there till then and don't unblock her. I've had more than enough of Mom, and I'm going to deal with this myself.
Cassidy, what is happening here, huh? I woke up this morning and you were gone. Where are you right now? And why did my brother show up here? He said he was here to take me away. What's going on, huh?
So Uncle David finally made it?
I just told you he did. But I want to know what he's doing here. You know that him and I hate each other. We haven't spoken in ages. So what is he doing here?
Well, I asked him to come and handle you, since I'm getting married and don't need you anymore.
Wait, what? What are you saying? I don't get it.
Well, I kind of just laid it out for you.
So you're really getting married? You expect me to buy that? That's impossible. You don't even have a boyfriend.
Well, then I guess I'm not sure whose bride I just signed myself up as at the courthouse. Anyways, we're going to move in together, and I'm going to end the lease for the house.
No! Wait! You can't do that. That's not fair.
Well, it's like Uncle David says, right? If you don't work, you don't eat. But don't worry. I talked to him and he agreed to give you a job at his printing shop.
A job? You want me to go back to work at my age?
I don't want anything from you, actually. But I do know that I probably won't see you again until you're in a coffin. Goodbye, Mom. Following Megan's example, I decided to block Mom's number on my phone before she had a chance to bombard me with angry messages and voicemails that would only make me feel worse. I hesitated for a moment, but then I remembered what my uncle had said to me when I confided in him. He told me that I would never be able to live my own life until I cut off all contact with Mom. I know that sounds harsh, but I had already wasted so much of my time and energy trying to please her and deal with her drama. I know that some people may judge me for being selfish, but sometimes that's the only way to preserve your sanity and happiness. Anyways, now I'm living with my husband, who loves me and supports me, and we're planning for our wedding, which will be a beautiful celebration of our love. Meanwhile, my mom had no other option but to move back into her brother's house, where she now works at his print shop, which is probably the only place that could hire her.